So, how's it going today? What is going on? This is another episode, or what it is, of Pancake Marathon, where we, or I, or we, in as in Tradition 5, right? Each group. Well, what does that even right kind of mean? Well, it's essentially how do you keep adding to your recovery, the ingredients? What are you using? Are you keeping a little more spicy at this moment? Are you going to have a little bit more sweetness? Right? And it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Absolutely not. It's a marathon. It's not even a race. It's kind of like a race, a marathon, right? And yet it's about how do you refuel? At what point? At what tool? What step? What promise? What principle are you going to actually bring forth because you put the work into it? Absolutely, right? That's really what it comes down to. Welcome to another matter of, well, what is Pancake Marathon? Absolutely. How active are you in your recovery? Well, welcome, one and all. For you can only freely give what you've been given and have, and that's how you can give it and have it and absolutely freely give it. So, welcome, one and all. Thank you, thank you. Have a great, great life. Thank you, thank you. So, today I think I was kind of going back and forth a little bit about what is today. How am I going to be an active part of my recovery, right? What ingredient am I going to, maybe give a little bit more, maybe I need to go back and look back at my foundation in of itself, the store of, the ingredient store or what it may be, right? And to simply say, well, I think it would be adequate to talk about, the seventh tradition, right? Fully self supporting, declining outside contributions, all that kind of stuff, right? And so yeah, I can quote it or per se, sometimes I'm like, oh, what is it? What is it? I can't verbatim it right now, but it's, here we go, right? And it's, at points, it's always about practicing the principles in all your affairs. What does that kind of mean? What is the matter of fact of that? What kind of stance is that? To simply say, right? Well, if there's 36 principles, well, then wouldn't that be you doing every single one of those in every single moment that you can? Well, absolutely. That's really what it's about. So, well, what is up? What is down? What is horizontal and what is a little bit vertical? Sometimes when you're using, whoa, you don't even know you are somewhere else. You are in another, well, dimension upon itself. Well, aren't we always in our own dimension? Sharing the same space and time. I mean, really, what's going on? What is what and who knows what? All I want to know is what I don't know so I can know what I do know. Absolutely, right? Oh, wait, hang on. All I want to know is what I don't know so what I don't know is what I know. Absolutely. I mean, how more spiritual can you get in the sense of, well, this is a spiritual program in of itself. So let's go ahead and get into what does it mean in of itself to kind of be fully self-supporting, right? Seven, tradition 7 upon itself. And well, what? Step 12, practice the principles in all your affairs. Absolutely. Let's see how we can get into this and what can absolutely come. Maybe your higher power is going to be speaking to you today. Who knows? Whatever that is, whoever that may be, let's go ahead and get into it. Absolutely. It's almost kind of funny because I'm like, attempting to do my best, try, right? In the beginning, before my whole recovery aspect, I was like, try? What are you talking about? You do it or well, there is no try. Absolutely. Your best, well, that might not be the best for everybody. And you know what? Go ahead and keep trying because you're a keeper. Keep on going. Absolutely. All of those fun little things to say because we're just not at a point to maybe we are, right? Where but at a point to where you are at a job, okay, or simply to say you have to play the game or you got something to focus on, right? Regardless of whatever it is, right? Anonymity, let it be nameless. Just go ahead and keep going, right? Focus on what needs to be done. Start where you're at, right? Do something where you're at because that's the only place you can start, right? Don't future trip into anxiety. Don't pass yourself through into depression, right? Don't make the past your future. All of those kind of things. So, upon itself, you see, if you don't put the work in and you keep on taking all these outside contributions, right? Then what's going on, right? Is that now your new addiction upon itself? And what ultimately is going on? That isn't that making your life a little unmanageable and you're powerless against it because you didn't put the work in, right? And so when you look at seventh tradition, you find that you can kind of see that it's really indicating that it's an action based program, right? Keep on saying things, keep on asking, don't isolate, keep communicating, all that kind of stuff. If you're not at the point of being able to do it yourself, then don't you have to rely on something that is commonly given freely, right? Like you can look at the whole aspect of money, right? Well, you could only have money as if you've been given it by somebody that came before you, right? Absolutely. Not to get into the whole concept of what is true currency, right? And yet, you can see how if you don't do what Tradition 7 is kind of, simply saying, where you're declining outside contributions, right? Renting space in your head for something else, right? Taking the bag of salt instead of just the grain, you know, because we can simply say, how much of a mustard seed do you need to start moving a mountain, right? Is it the whole entire thing? Absolutely not, right? Isn't it just the DNA, that one little cell, right? Because if you have the genetic makeup, then you can go ahead and be a scientist upon itself and